All right, good
All right.
morning.
Good morning. We're live. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
Thanks for having us.
So I am so excited to have you guys here and introduce you to Facebook land and wherever else we end up posting this, right? This is Carrie and Katie with Savvy Staging. And we'll get into a little bit about what you guys do, but I just want to let you know, I'm so excited that we were connected. Gosh, I guess it was this year, right?
This year.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that we can't wait to share what all you guys do because you have some extreme talent and organization, and we'll talk about that.
you.
So how's your week been, ladies?
Good.
Yeah, it's been good.
Busy.
Yeah, we both got back in town, so we're kind of regrouping and getting back in action.
Yeah. You done anything fun this summer?
I just got back from a family wedding and brought a puppy back with us. So we are.
Oh, wow.
So that's
We
fun,
are
like having another baby in the house.
Another baby, right?
So cute. Yeah, we went to a lake for a long weekend, but we've been pretty busy with kids' activities, so we haven't been away too much.
Right. Yeah. You're both hardworking moms, and I get that. It's the juggle of camps and activities and trying to fit work in as well, right?
All the time, every day. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Now, Jennifer, you said only a year you got in touch with Katie and Carrie. So how did y'all make that connection?
So I'll start. I cannot remember how, actually, you know what, Katie, you and I talked on the phone at one point because we have mutual friends, and Carrie, you and I, our kids go to school together.
Oh, okay.
So it kind of came full circle. Katie and I talked a little bit about their business, and then we had a listing coming up that was a perfect opportunity for them to help us with it. So I called them, they met with the sellers, and they basically helped the sellers renovate their house to get ready to sell. Do you guys want to tell a little bit about what you did?
Yeah, well, we were just talking a little bit ago. It's really one of our favorite projects because we took an older split level that definitely needed some love. And when we met with the sellers, they were considering just listing and trying to sell it as is. But we brought in our guys and we did a mini kitchen renovation. I guess we did both bathrooms. Mm-hmm. We did both bathrooms. We painted. We did lighting. We one of our key perks of our business is we touch every room. So we really can't help ourselves.
We really go to every room and we can't let anything go. So.
Right. So we worked hard on that job. We ended up loving the family in the end, and I think it sold the day it went on the market, and made them a pretty good profit. Much different than what we were going to list it for. So,
and Absolutely. It started off small, and it kind of snowballed into more projects, and really ended up working out well, I think, for the sellers in the end.
Yeah. And I think, that was what I loved is you guys came in and it was kitchen update, like new cabinetry, countertops, backsplash, lighting, everything. And then the bathrooms, and, you picked everything out for them essentially. But then you came in and you helped them with their furniture in the end too, and brought in accessories that really just fit the space. Lise, we'll have to post some pictures of Riverbend to
okay,
show
I was about to ask if it was the Beverly Woods East Home, because I did that open house and I loved everything in there.
Thank you.
Yes. Yeah, that was gold. That's when I realized gold was back. That brush.
The brush brass. Absolutely.
Yes, brush brass.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, every buyer that came through loved it.
Mm-hmm. Right. So Carrie and Katie, tell us a little bit about how Savvy Staging got started.
Well,
so I've had an interior design business in Charlotte the last 3 years. And when COVID hit last year, my projects really stalled out. People didn't really want people in their homes. And so it just kind of was a blank space all of a sudden. There was a house on the market in Montebello, a house they were trying to sell in Montebello, and it wasn't selling, and it was vacant, and they asked for some help, and Katie and I went in, and because it was vacant, it was great. We could bring in our workers, and again, we transformed painting and lighting and countertops, and it ended up, it went on the we brought in all of our accessories and decor, and it sold the day it went on again, and it sold for asking, I think. So that was kind of when we realized there's a different niche for us, that we can take our love of design and interiors and decor, and help people make it ready to go on the market.
We kind of realized after that project, like, oh, well, we work really well together. Our ideas came together really well and bounced off of each other. And we had a lot of fun working together and doing that. And then when it was successful, we kind of looked at each other like, well, maybe we should do this. So it just kind of took on a life of its own from there. But that was our kind of our first project. And it helped that we were home during that time. It was during that really lockdown period where we couldn't really go anywhere else. And the house was a few doors down from me. So it was kind of a good project for that time.
Yeah, that's great. So, and knowing that you had the resources too, and were able to bring your people in from Carrie's background and, what people you'd used before, that's great,
Right.
because it's helpful when people don't have a clue where to start.
Right. And we pick everything out for people. So we try to make it as seamless as possible. We pick the paint color. Nobody has to think about paint colors or lighting, or we pick it out and go with it.
That's where it's different than design, where you're kind of collaborating with them on what they love and kind of recommending things to update. We kind of just take over the project because they're not actually going to be living there. We're looking at it from a buyer's perspective and trying to make it appeal to a broad range instead of just what one person loves.
Yeah, I was about to ask, what's the big difference between the interior design and the staging? And you kind of just said it, it's the emotions out of it, because they're just looking to make the resale value.
Right. Which can be tricky because we know when we go in, people tend to love their homes. They love their things. It can be emotional to say, take that down, take that down, take that down. A lot of times we end up doing it for them, and kind of rips off the Band-Aid, so to speak. And I would guess from a realtor perspective, it helps because we're the middle person. We kind of take the home and it becomes a product, and it's not creating a space that they love anymore, but making the product how we want it to go to market, to be ready for pictures.
I was going to say that having a stager on our side kind of takes the personal out of it for us as the real estate agent, because the house is always their baby, or at least most of the time it is. So having someone with a design background to say, this is going to appeal to the masses, this is the trend right now, it really does. It kind of takes that personal out of it and helps us as the agent that we're not offending someone, because
Right.
that's, a lot of people wouldn't think of that as our specialty.
Right. And we always explain that it's not that we don't like what they have. It's that we're trying to appeal to a broader range. We're trying to make rooms look bigger, neutralize and brighten things, not just, it's really not a personal thing against maybe what they have chosen in their home.
Right. Yeah. So besides the one you helped us on Riverbend, what's been one of your favorite projects that you've worked on?
Well, probably the last one we just did.
Yeah, that was good.
The last house we just did, they had big lower level renovation. Their kitchen looked awesome when we came in. Their lower level really looked very updated. And then when we went upstairs, it looked very not updated. The master bath was very small, dated, wallpaper, old tile. So our goal, and we told them, was to make the upper level mirror how beautiful the level had become. So that was our main. We did a small master bath reno, changed bedding and rugs and painted, just things to really make it match the home.
And clearing out, kind of minimizing what they have in each room, and then you can highlight different, pillows or art, things like that, to kind of bring your eye to kind of a more updated look.
Do you guys have a favorite room that you like to, like a favorite project, kitchen, baths, things like that?
Well, we definitely tell the seller. I mean, master bath and kitchen are kind of huge areas you can focus on. Going in, not everybody's going to be on board with making every space updated, on trend. It doesn't have to be. To us, putting in some really cool lighting in different places and having some home that catch your eye and a younger, we say savvy buyer goes, oh, I love that light. Oh, I love that shiplap, or I love, just certain things to really catch their eye and draw them in.
And we always say, that there are.
You're literally power washing my house.
This is real life.
Wondering.
Real life.
They just have to start on the window in the room where we are.
This is my home. I have 4 kids, and there's a lot going on here all the time.
Oh my gosh.
And that's okay. We like to keep it real.
But I was going to say, we always go into a house saying, okay, we're not going to worry about that basement, or we're not going to worry about that room. And then we can't help ourselves. And by the end of it, we've done every room. We can't. Well, maybe just a few pillows and a few throws. And okay, we'll go ahead and paint that too. So it's, we just the whole house to look great when
we do a lot of therapy within a job. We let people know that we are on their side, we're taking care of everything, literally by the day of pictures, we want it to look perfect. So we are there the minute, usually before the photographer comes. We're fixing beds and we're, making everything. It's our name on it also. So we just, we want to give them the peace of mind that we're really there to make their pictures look awesome.
We get really invested in the house too. So then when it goes on the market, we're like, what happened? What's going on?
Well, I think that's what makes you different from other staging companies, is how you touch every room in the house, and you both of you seem so emotionally involved. I don't know any other stager that would be there 2 seconds before photography photos are being taken.
Yeah, like moving a plant 2 inches to make it. I know we're a little bit crazy, but that's nobody makes the beds the way that we like it, so then that's why we're there.
I totally get that, because I always feel like I have to go before the photographer comes just to make sure the blinds are just right, or wait, you have to move that dish towel out of the picture, the things that other people don't think about.
Right,
exactly.
Little things.
Yeah.
Little things.
Yeah.
Well, tell us about why staging a property is so important, and how buyers really, can walk in a home and see such a difference when it's staged versus not staged.
Well, kind of just what we were saying, we want a buyer to walk into a house and be excited about it, and versus walking in and feeling overwhelmed. Every room, oh, I'd have to do that. I'd have to do that. Every room is a project. So if we can at least make the space where it's livable, or it's cute, or, they feel excited about some of the lighting or the paint. Okay, I don't have to paint all of that. Kind of walk in and feel excited about the house versus overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
That helps the buyer to feel good about it and feel like they can make it their own.
Right. Well, I mean, first impression just makes a really, really big deal. I mean, we go down to the point of bringing pots to the front of the house because we want flowers outside that look pretty, and just really welcoming somebody to hopefully their new home, if that's the way they're looking at it. So
it's kind of that wow factor, right? It's the emotional tie when they walk in, and then they can overlook all the other little things because they've just been wowed, right?
Right. I think that the Beverly Woods house, to us, it was like maybe a split level isn't going to appeal to everybody, but the kitchen renovation was awesome. So if you walk in and you're like, okay, well, I love that kitchen, can I get past some of these other little things? And I think it does make a difference. It really does.
Well, tell us a little bit, if someone were to work with you, what happens behind the scenes, like a timeline of what they would expect working with you?
So our first step, so typically a realtor will contact us and kind of set us up with the client at the home, sometimes with a realtor, sometimes just with the client. We do a full evaluation of the house and talk through some things. And then Katie and I really sit down and delve into what we think should be done, what really is going to make the most impact. Again, we're not saying everybody's going to renovate their whole house to be on trend, updated, how it could be, but where are the key components that we can really help them make the most impact and the most profit, really.
And kind of deciding how much money we think that they should invest. Is it worth updating? Or will they be fine because of their location, just doing maybe a little bit of paint and a little rearranging? We kind of discuss it as a whole, really what we think that they need to invest in. Do they, would it be worthwhile to go down that road? And it also depends on their time frame. Some people want to put it on the market next week, and then we're not going to be able to do as much, but we can do the most that we can during that time.
Right. So after we kind of create our ideas, we'll give them a proposal. We usually like to give them 2 or 3 options, and they're priced based on those few options, whether they, how much they want to invest, and their timing again. And then once they decide that, we picking things out, picking out paint, finding contractors, picking out lighting, fitting whatever we're going to do in the project into the timeline.
Texting and I love that you're basically providing the contractors trusted people, and you already know what their pricing is going to be, rather than now having to go and source that out.
Right. That's true. Yeah. I was going to say, texting each other saying, "Oh, I think those pillows would look great in that bedroom." We get started way before we're even hired for jobs.
Yes. Yes, we do.
Yeah. Now, do you rent all of the furniture and the painting and pictures, or do you have a warehouse somewhere where you store everything?
We have a lot of inventory that we store in places. Okay. Pillows, art, accessories. We have small furniture pieces that we have on site.
Just sounds like, waterfall outside your window. It's all right.
Oh my goodness.
Of course.
We don't love to rent huge furniture pieces. We typically, even if somebody's sofa looks dated or it's not perfect, we can throw some great pillows on it and some blankets and try to rearrange. Like when we say stage the room, maybe the furniture isn't awesome, but we like the placement of the sofa with these 2 chairs, or we bring in a different rug, and we kind of take all of our stuff. When we say savvy, we call ourselves savvy staging. It would cost people a ton of money to move all their stuff out of their home and bring in a whole house full of furniture. So as much as we can, we take their stuff and just try to make it look nicer.
I remember with the the sellers on Riverbend, like you recommended a bed and they bought that bed so they could take it to the next house. So some of it is, you know, things that they can purchase at a good price and it's something they'll keep. So, you know, sometimes when you rent furniture, you fall in love with that and then you have to turn it back in, right? So it's kind of nice to have the option to keep it.
We bought them bedding. We were like, this is a great bedding set. You should take it with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, there was definitely some pieces that they kept and they just purchased from us.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I
I would,
that.
I think that's a different niche for Charlotte. That's where we found that we're different than other stagers.
I
It
agree.
makes it more affordable for them too, to not be paying rental costs per month for furniture and all of that. It can get pretty pricey.
Yeah, it can. Well, this might be my favorite question I'm going to ask you, because I hope I haven't committed one of these horrible decorating mistakes. But we want to know, what are the 3 decorating and design mistakes you see most people make most frequently?
Well, we like to say there aren't any mistakes if you're making it your home. If that's what you love, if that's what you choose, and that's what you want to live with, there aren't any mistakes. I think that's a big difference between interior design / decorating and staging.
If you love something, it can't be right or wrong, because that's your home and you love it and you look at it and it makes you happy. So it's more of mistakes for selling versus design to live with.
Right. I guess in that regard, like, as the seller, before you paint your whole house something to sell it, consult with a stager. They might tell you something different.
Yeah.
You know, we'll definitely go into a home and make it more neutral, but I'm sitting in my room that's navy blue with wild artwork all over the wall. So, you know, there's a big difference between designing for love and staging.
And when we go in, we're trying to make things minimal, but that not be what you want your house to feel like living in it. It might feel warmer to you to have lots of your personal items around, but for staging, we try to minimize all of that and make it a little less personal.
Yeah. And that makes sense. I love how you said that. There are no mistakes when you're doing it with the things you love and it's your home, right? And then when you sell a home, you have to think of it that this is not our home anymore. We're wanting to make it desirable for the masses, right? So it's that neutralizing and kind of taking the personal out of it so people can then add their extras to it when they move in.
I need to work on that, because when I show a buyer a home, I'm quick, not to them, but internally, to point out all of the stuff that should have not been there for showing. Like, that should not have been put there. No, that. So that was a good point of view. I've never heard it said that way before. So that was great.
Yeah. Well, this has been so fun. I just love what you ladies are doing. I love your style. How can people get in touch with you if they need your help?
They should just call you and get out. No.
Yeah. Call me to list the house and then I'll call you to come over, right?
Exactly.
We've been really busy just by word of mouth. We haven't created any social media pages. Neither of us are really great about posting on social media. Maybe one day we'll get that rolling, an Instagram page or something. But for now, we have an email address. It's savvystagingsharlotte@gmail.com. Or people usually text us just on our cell phone. So I guess they could get that number from you, or I can.
Yeah, we can post that. We'll post your email address and your phone number. So if they need to get in touch with you, because we have other realtors who watch these too. So we may get some more business for you from other realtors as well.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Yeah. Well, we like to end these every week with everyone just taking a moment to say something that they're grateful for. It can be your whole life grateful or just this week grateful. But if you two want to kick us off and give us your grateful of the week.
Well, first of all, we're grateful for our friendship because we're really good friends. And we're really grateful for being women and moms and starting this small business together that started as just kind of for fun, and it's really just taken off. And with realtors like Jennifer and other female realtors just all supporting each other and recommending people, it's been awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
It's
to
wonderful.
be able to, like you were saying, have something where we're able to balance our home life and kids, and even though it's not always perfect, that we're able to manage that. And we always kind of, when things aren't perfect, where we might drop the ball somewhere, we remind each other that we're setting an example for our kids on the ability to kind of do whatever it is in your life that you want to make happen, and that kind of the sky's the limit on how you want to reinvent yourself, or what's possible at any different stage in your life.
I couldn't agree more, Katie. I mean, that's really why I got into real estate, is to have that flexibility to be a good mother and to have a career, right? Something that you're passionate about, and that showing that to our children, that as business women, you can do it all. You can do both, and you can manage it.
It's great.
Yeah. Speaking of being grateful, that made me think, like, the balancing act, it being summer, kids being home, and our director of operations is on vacation this week. And I told Lise yesterday, I was like, we've got 2 listings that are coming up. We've got a land listing that's coming up. And without Anna here this week, me having to do the paperwork and all that other behind the scenes, I am so grateful for her, and I need her back. Because it's a lot, and sometimes you don't realize how much someone else is doing until they're not there. So it's double workload this week, but I'm so glad she gets to have a vacation with her children. But we want her back on Monday. So we're grateful for Anna.
Yes, I do miss her. I'm like, come on back, Anna. But mine kind of tag teams off of that. Mine was family, and how I have a lot of family trips coming up, and I'm so lucky that I get to go on those because I have a team behind me that will kind of show buyers houses for me or go to closings on my behalf, so I get that time with my family. So I'm pretty thankful for that.
Yeah, so much to be grateful for, right?
Yes.
Well, thank you so much, Carrie and Katie, for being with us this morning. We can't wait to work with you again and share your information with others so that you can help them stage their homes and be savvy about it, right?
Well, thank you so much for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Really fun.
Well, enjoy the rest of your summer.
Thank you.
You too.
You too.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.